Hi, I've recently bought an R&G paddock stand to use with my 2019 Speed Triple, and I thought I'd post a review on YouTube because I might be able to give some useful information that might help other people thinking about buying the same product. Because the Speed Triple is single-sided swinging arm and the paddock stand goes in from the left-hand side, it is a lot easier to raise the bike, I find, than on a twin swing arm where you've got bobbins. I just find those more difficult to actually locate, and this, the first time I used it, is very much easier to use. However, this particular designer stand from R&G does have some problems. It's very robustly constructed. I don't have any problems with the actual quality of the kit, but there are some limitations with its design. Namely, the wheels here come forward of this upright only by a very small amount, and it's not immediately apparent because it's standing on cardboard, but they are actually slightly raised from the base of the main bar here. So in actual fact, you can, I know it's on cardboard, but you can turn them. If it was on concrete, you could free spin them. They're not quite touching. And as a consequence of that, this bar here, which bends around, it only reaches the base, if you like, parallel with this, by the time it bends round and gets to the upright. Now this upright here is in line with the actual axle of the bike, so there's no over-centering to give it any stability. So when I first put the bike up on the stand on the concrete floor, there's a tendency for it to want to move backwards and forwards because obviously the weight of the bike is taken in a vertical sense down here and forward from the upright here, it's not in contact with the floor, and so consequently the whole thing wants to sort of move backwards and forwards very slightly until obviously the wheels contact with the ground. But my main issue with this stand is that the distance from the upright to the effectively the base of the wheel is only about 3 inches, and there's very little moment holding the bike stable. So I would be very worried that if you left a bike on this stand and there are other people who've got access to the garage, it wouldn't take much of a knock forwards to actually propel the bike forwards off the stand, and then obviously from that point onwards Armageddon ensues. I'm lucky in as much as I live on my own and my garage doesn't have anyone else accessing it, but just as a precaution, I've chopped the front wheel with a brick, and every time I put the bike on this stand I will just chop the wheel, and that's just to make sure that if I do inadvertently fall into or push on the bike forwards, it's not going to lever forwards and come off the stand. Now my BMW paddock stand, the wheels are a little bit further forwards and they raise this bar off the ground. So at the back on the BMW paddock stand, the bar is on the ground here, but here it's the wheels that are on the ground, and the bottom of the bar here is about 1 inch off the ground, half an inch maybe. And also this loading here is well rearward of the wheels. So when you actually get my other motorcycle, it's an S1000, when you get that on the paddock stand, on the BMW paddock stand, the lever here is being pushed well into the ground. Whereas on the R&G, on the Speed Triple, you can get hold of this and there's no tension, there's no force on it at all. It will move up and down quite happily until these wheels contact the ground. So it's a good product and I'm quite happy with it, but if you're buying one, you need to be aware of that limitation.